So it's almost 6 p.m. and I've been sitting around for the last half an hour trying to figure out what video should I work on next and what is the kind of content that I should start working on. And funnily enough, I just decided to document this instead of figuring out a topic for you guys and talking a little bit about what you should do as creators when you want to create but you don't really know how and what to create. Let's get started. So the main idea behind something like this is the fact that it's not possible for us as creators to come up with stuff all the time. So there are going to be times when you wouldn't really know what it is that you want to create, even though you do want to make a video or shoot something and do something creative that day. In times like these, I feel like it's extremely important to let go our idea of perfection. For example, I wouldn't be shooting a video like this for the channel in case I didn't had to, or if I didn't really want to, because this is not conventionally what I do here. And granted, some of you might find this video none of your interest at all, and some of you creators hopefully would find it really relieving to know that all of us really go through the same sort of thing one time or the other. And actually, in the end, it again falls down to something that I've heard Gary Vee talk about a lot, and I'm sure you guys have heard too, which is the basic essential fact of document and don't create. Now, basically, this means that you should just start recording whatever it is that you do on a daily basis, the things that you do, because as it is, they are going to be different from other people that are watching you. And that way, you wouldn't have to force your mind into being creative. You could just be creative for the sake of doing whatever it is that you're doing, and not be creative just because you want to create something and make a video and think about that particularly. It's really relieving, and it's also extremely relaxing, and it just makes us feel like you don't really have to do a lot. You just have to talk to the camera like I am doing right now. Just create something which is going to be a part of your sort of daily ritual, and that way it becomes less about making a video and doing work, and more about how you can just create stuff and share what you're doing throughout the day and just share that with people. I think a lot of people have forgotten, and it's something that we should talk about a lot, because while yes, you constantly have to push forward and get new stuff and review different phones, as well as talk about different cameras, talk about filmmaking, photography, all of that, no matter what it is that your main genre is, it's important to take a second, sit back, relax, talk about the creative process to the audience if they're interested, instead of just churning out videos. So basically, one of the main reasons why I am making this is because I have been working on the setup. As you guys can see right now, I've been working on a lot of things in the production side of things, and I've also been meaning to change the content. So no more, app videos and stuff like that. I'm just in a really sort of creative block as to what to do and why to do. And I thought making this video could actually be a really good answer on how to fix something of that sort. With that said, we also have a new setup going on over here. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Let's have a look. I'll show you what are the new additions, and probably that will make this video a little more interesting. So as you guys can see, we have this really nice black backdrop, which is seamless paper. It is super high quality, and I really love backdrops now. I think I'll make a separate video on it. Next up, we've got this light honeycomb thingy, which I've put on the Aperture 300D, which is my main key light. A video on it should also be coming, because this is a really great light if you have the budget for it, and I honestly think it's one of the best investments you can make light wise. And then to give sort of like a rim, sort of a backlight effect, I also have the Aperture light stand. This was sent by Aperture, and this is just an LED panel, and I've switched it to a warm color so that it gives some sort of contrast. And I also have a reflector there, which I don't have, and I'm going to put it over here to give some of the fill from this key light to have like a really cool 3-point lighting setup. And also over the time, I think I'll put a MC light stand as well as an Aperture MC, which is this RGB light, light, if you guys have heard of it, and that will help me create different sorts of colored backgrounds whenever I want to. And as always, we obviously have the table here where I shoot most of the stuff, and there's just a bunch of stuff here right now with a lot of plants, because let's face it, you need these to be a YouTuber. With that said, this is all that I have right now. This video seems to be very casual, and I'm actually enjoying making it. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, do let me know. Now again, if you're in the same situation, let's talk about a few things that you can do to sort of let go of that creative block and start creating and come up with new ideas. All right, let's go from here into the main room. So this is my room, and this is where most of the magic happens. And one of the first things that I really intend on doing as soon as I find myself in any sort of creative rut is to just take a notebook and a piece of pen and start writing down any idea that comes to me. Now, this does not have to be a video idea or something that has to do with my genre, let's say photography or technology. Literally anything, whatever it is that excites me right now, whatever it is that is going on in my head right now, I try to write that down. And once I write that down, I get some perspective on the kind of content that I want to create, and also on the type of stuff that I think would be interesting to create right now. Because at the end of the day, there is a saturation point that I feel like I've hit with the current content that I'm producing. And I think that it's time for me to branch out into other things. So let's sit down, let's come up with some new ideas, and we'll see how this goes. Also, sometimes putting on lo-fi music definitely helps. So, who knows? Let's crank up some tunes. So that actually went pretty well. I found out 2 or 3 good ideas, all related to the stuff that I was already going to make, stuff about creating a YouTube setup, stuff about how you can make money with YouTube as a content creator if you're looking at it from a business sort of a view. And if that didn't work for you, another thing that I would really recommend is doing something that helps you get relaxed. So whether that is just listening to some calming music, as I said, some lo-fi tracks work really, really well some of the times. There are some really cool Spotify playlists that I'll link in the description below that you guys can listen to. And one of the other things that I really find calming to myself is playing an instrument. So for me, I've been trying to learn the guitar for the last 2 years, and I am pretty okay with it right now at this point. And I think that playing something that has nothing to do with the kind of content that you create in real life really helps you, be more creative that way. Because the more and more pressure you put on your mind to be creative, the more difficult it actually becomes to think of something like that. It's like, when you go to sleep and you think about why you can't fall asleep, and then you cannot fall asleep even more, and you just don't end up sleeping. That happened to me, that's true. So it's basically the same thing, doing something that distracts you, whether it's playing video games, whether it's playing movies, whether it's listening to music, whatever it is, definitely do that, and it should definitely help you. With that said, let me crank up some tunes, and you guys can let me know whether that sounds good to you or not. Alright, so hopefully that wasn't too bad. and if it was, then I'm sorry. But honestly, this is all that there is to do and to figure out when you're trying to get some content out of the way. And if you still cannot figure out what it is that you want to create by now, or an idea hasn't popped in your head, then it's again very important to remember that it's okay to take a break. I mean, we're not machines. You're supposed to go through this from time to time, and this is the only way that you can grow. And as long as you're putting the document, don't create thing into perspective, it really changes things. Because without that, I wouldn't be creating this video, because it would have honestly nothing to do with the kind of content that I post on my real channel. But now that that is out of the way, I really hope you guys could take away something of value from today's video. In case you did, then I'm very glad. In case you didn't, feel free to vote it down. Let me know what went wrong. Until then, I'll catch you guys soon with some new content, some interesting content, stuff that I'm proud to make. And yeah, you guys have a great day. Sit tight, relax, stay home unless you have to go out. Till then, be safe, wear a mask. Peace out.